Hi everyone, it's Lisa and welcome to Make It Monday. Today is week 14 in my series on techniques, so make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any of the upcoming videos that I'll be teaching. Today I'm going to show you how to do faux silk. It's really very simple, and here's the first sample I have for you. You can see this area is where I have done the technique as well as this area. I'm going to hold it up a little bit closer and see if you can see it. Little wrinkly, little worn. I have several other samples for you that I'll show you towards the end of the video. The first thing you're going to need is a quarter sheet of cardstock, and it's going to be important that the cardstock matches the tissue paper which is used in this technique. So in this case I'm using white. Choose a stamp set, and I am actually choosing a background stamp. This is the new stamp Dictionary from the 2013-2014 catalog, and this is Crumb Cake ink. I'm going to use my background stamp face up on the table and ink it this way. It's a lot easier than trying to hold that large stamp. I'm going to take the tissue paper and I'm going to lay it right on top. Give it a pat to hold it in place. I'm going to take a piece of scrap cardstock and lay it over the top and then rub. I find this a lot easier than trying to lift the entire background stamp onto the paper, whether it be tissue paper or cardstock, to transfer the design. Okay, so this is what we're left with. Next step, crumble this up, and then we're going to carefully open it back up, and I'm going to smooth it out. Now this stamp set has a direction, which means the words are going to be going upside down if I'm not careful how I'm going to mount this. So, but if you have an image that doesn't matter which way it's going, like a flower, it's not important whether you put the right side up or the right side down. Next thing you need is a Stampin' Up! Glue stick. I'm going to pull out a piece of scratch paper and that quarter sheet of cardstock. And the Stampin' Up! Glue sticks are wonderful because they have a square tip, which makes it very simple to get in all the corners. You want to cover this piece of cardstock completely with the glue stick, making sure that you don't miss the edges. I've cut my cardstock a little bit bigger than I'm going to need, so I can trim it if necessary. Okay, so I'm looking to make sure I've got this going the right way. Then you lay it on top. Now I just want you lightly to press in the center, and then I want you to work from the center out to try to get most of the wrinkles and some of the bubbles out. The creases that we've created in the tissue paper are what create the technique in this project. And then carefully go across the edges to make sure that you've got the whole thing covered. Now with your scissors, just come in and trim off the excess tissue paper. Now is a good time, once it's trimmed, to make sure that you've got all your edges securely glued down. And I just go back over the back with my fingers to make sure. Okay, that's it. What I did is I ran this through the 3.5-inch circle die. I sponged it to bring down the tone of the white because I wanted this to look more rustic looking with the leaves. I stamped some leaves from the Gently Falling stamp set. The words are from the stamp set For You. Added some baker's twine and just mounted it up on dimensionals. I did sponge the background on this wood grain embossing folder. Here's a couple other samples for you. This one I kept white, and this is the Pleasant Poppies stamp, and I just stamped it on there. Same technique. I wish you could feel it because it really is cool. Created a 3D flower with some of the coordinating ribbon, and this is Raspberry Ripple. I have to say this is probably my favorite. This is from the large background stamp Sunflower, and I used the words from my heart for the kindness. I put it up on a piece of vellum cardstock, and then I used the mini brads that I colored just the heads in a black Sharpie marker to bring in the continuity of the black words and the black background. And here I've used a beautiful delicate design embossing folder for the edge for this card. And my last sample for you, again, you know I love vintage. On this one, I stamped the dictionary in chocolate chip. And then I used the Beautiful Wings die to cut out the butterfly, mounted up some embellishments on that beautiful composition designer paper. Today's technique is called Faux Silk. And I look forward to seeing you next week for Make It Monday.